Okay, we're here with Shannon Furman. She's Assistant Director of HBO's Hard Knocks, one of the best sports shows on television. What makes this show, Shannon, just so awesome?
I think it gives people a view of something they don't ever get to see. We take them into a reality that's not their own, and every year it's a little bit different. You know, some things are the same, but the personalities change, the cities, the locations change, and you always find something a little bit different.
What are the challenges, or some of the challenges, of coming out here to Houston, setting up, and then doing what you guys do?
The heat.
Okay.
The heat. We've been in some pretty hot locations, but I think this is probably the hottest we've ever had. There's a lot of moving parts. We came out here for a scout. We figured out how to set up the whole building, things like that. But we have lots of people who are very competent and have been doing this for a long time. We moved the whole staff of 30 people to Richmond with us. Okay. Pretty much everyone came. The only thing we don't move is the robotics cameras. So that was the only part that we left behind. We'll do that again for the 2 road games. We're actually going to bus to those games since they're fairly close for us. Okay. So logistics and stuff are hard to figure out. That's probably the toughest thing. We do a lot of research to get to know the players on the teams and personality. The Texans PR staff has been great to us, helping us, figure out storylines and what we want to do. So that's been pretty seamless this year. So I would say logistics is probably our biggest struggle with the show.
Okay. What kind of hours do you put in on a daily basis? It almost seems like you get no sleep.
It changes. It is a little rough. We're up almost every morning at 5:30 and then over here by 6 a.m. for practice. At nighttime, it depends. It depends on if we're going to go shoot with the players at home or if we're just leaving right after a team meeting. But for a lot of camp, it's been about 6 to 10 p.m. have been the hours. Some days we get done a little bit earlier, but on average, I think that's what we have to be prepared for, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay. What's it like walking around the field? Because I told you a moment ago, you guys got the headsets on. It's almost like your CAA talking like this. Just talk me through that daily procedure of just walking around and I guess coordinating everything.
I said, the 2 things I will not miss about Hard Knocks is the sunscreen every morning and the wires coming out of my ears with everyone talking to me. So it is. I mean, it's interesting, though. It makes football practice go by really fast. We have at least anywhere from 8 to 10 players and coaches mic'd up on a daily basis. Actually, probably more when you include coaches, but at least 8 players, maybe 10 some days. So each field producer is assigned 2 people. So you're listening to those people in your left ear, and then you have the crew, so we can all communicate with each other in our right ear. So yeah, that's what we're just kind of following our storylines that way, and then in communication with each other. So if any injuries occur or anything going on the field, like today we had 2 new players out at camp, just trying to keep each other posted on where we see 32 and 64. Just communication, that's the biggest thing with this show. So that's why we have wires hanging out of our ears and look like CIA agents.
Houston, the Texans, and Coach O'Brien, obviously very guarded with some of their plays and this and that, like a lot of NFL teams. Do they get final say of what goes on, or do you guys have really complete control?
They get final say. They get to see the show. Coach O'Brien's aware of it, so we've been trying to show him as early as possible. We show him more in segments if we have something to show him. Like if we had Brian Cushing's segment done early, show him that so that he's aware of what's going on. I mean, he's been great. I think he's had very similar reservations that any 32 coaches would have. Yeah. It's our job to make him comfortable and understand how we work and how the process goes. And so far, I think it's been a really good working relationship on both parts. But yeah, at the end of the day, they do have final say what goes up on the screen.
Okay. Any moment in particular, funny or crazy or zany so far up to this point that really sticks out to you?
I mean, my favorite scene so far is D'Angelo Hall and DeAndre.
Okay.
I've worked with DeAndre since he was a rookie here, so I like him. I like working with him, and I just like how that whole scene started and it paid off at the end.
Right.
I've been doing a lot of the off-the-field shoots with the players. So Kareem and Jonathan Joseph are 2 of my favorites that I've known for a while. Baby shopping with them was fun. That was a quick scene. Wish it could have been a little longer, but still funny. So, and those 2, I love listening to their wires on the field. And I think Charles James has also been an awesome story that's come out of all of this. Practice, when you have Charles James in your ear, practice goes by in like 5 seconds. It's super quick because he's talking the whole time. He keeps it entertaining, and he's a really great competitor out on the field too. So those 3 sets of people are probably my favorite storylines so far.
And last thing, is that a lot of times when perhaps the best moments happen? I know you have your storylines you want to follow, but it's like in life, all of a sudden something happens you don't expect, and it can turn out to be a bad thing or a good thing. Do you find that to be true here, that a lot of times that's when the best things happen, when it's unexpected?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I think that happened yesterday with them, releasing a player and then bringing in 2 new players. Like, we find out that's happening kind of at the last minute, figure out how we're going to cover it, and that will probably be a big part of Show 3 next week. And it wasn't anything we had planned for. So, we cover it as best as we can. And, yesterday I think went pretty well. The coverage of the guys out here on the field today, I had the crews telling me that they were shooting 32 and 64, seeing what they were doing. And, maybe we'll even try and see if we can't get a wire on one of those guys in practice tomorrow or something like that. But we'll try and cover that story so we can bring it to everybody in Show 3 and see what the plans are with those new players.
Yeah, a personal request. We're from San Antonio. Dimps, number 32, went to Roosevelt High School in San Antonio. So if you guys can wire him up, that'd be pretty darn awesome.
He had an interception today. I'm not sure that we actually covered the interception, but I know we have Bill O'Brien celebrating it and a couple of the other defensive backs because they're all familiar with him from his time here before. So I know we've gotten some of the aftermath and everything of it, so hopefully that will make the show.
Awesome. Well, that really truly was the last thing that time. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.